Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. YouTube, Facebook. Well, I'm not on Facebook, but YouTube and Twitch. Thanks everybody for coming in. What's up? What's up, Pat? What's up, Mister Papa Whiskey? Mister, what you got? The Voyager now, Mister Voyager. Man, congrats to you, Pete. Once again, man, that was. I'm happy to. I was surprised when I looked at the names of who won and saw your name. I was like, yo, that was awesome. Yo, D Money, what's up? Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Letting this thing run. Let's see. Insta 360. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, cool. So just wanted to do this real quick. And for the most part, I didn't want to miss the thought processes and everything that I had going into the tournament and then, come in later in the week. So wanted to get this out as soon as possible just to go over like just my mindset and everything that went through from practice to fishing before I touched the water and then when I got on the water to see what was happening. And there was a lot of things that helped me during my practice that I cannot take for granted that helped me in the position that I put me in the position that I was in. So, Insta 360 is still taking forever, so we're just gonna bop it out and then just shrink this down. So Bellows Lake, outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. Oh, shouldn't have touched that one. There we go. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's for like top right of Greensboro. Is that right? Winston Salem. Sorry, Winston Salem, north of Greensboro. Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Top left of Greensboro. All right. So this is a clear water reservoir. Practice we had probably like 7 foot of visibility. We had rain, a cold front come in on Thursday. Friday it was recovering, and then Saturday, yesterday, it was actually very comfortable. It was windy and cold in the morning, but then it warmed up. Air temperature in the morning was in the 50s, high 40s, low 50s. Midday, I think we were in the 60s, and then in the tournament, we were in the high 65, 70s. So definitely warmed up really well. A lot of wind. There was a lot of wind midday, around that 10:30 time. But I will start at practice. So CKA rules state that you cannot practice after Sunday, I think at midnight. From Monday to Thursday, you can practice again the Friday before the tournament, but that whole Monday through Thursday, you can't practice. So myself and Sean, we went to go practice the Saturday previously. So in that practice, um, we were heading down to one of the creeks, Pine Bluff or Pine, yeah, I think it's Pine Bluff. I think that's the name of the ramp, wherever it is. Yeah, right here, Piney Bluff. So, um, weekend before that or during the week, Sean went out fishing at Pine Hall, and he had some success, but he was doing the same thing. He was throwing a spinner bait and I think a swim jig, and he said that he caught a couple. So he wanted to try some of the mid lake stuff, the lower mid lake stuff. So we launched at Pine Bluff, and instantly at launch, this area was all muddy. It was like espresso. It wasn't chocolate milk. It was like coffee and cream. It still had like about 2 foot of visibility, but it was definitely getting bad. Once we got right through here, it went straight into 6 to 7 foot of clear water. Um, First thing I noticed, a lot of laydowns over here. Oh, first time fishing this lake. For my practice, this was the first time I fished the lake. So I had no knowledge, nothing to know about this lake except that there has Alabama bass and largemouth bass. I've watched tournament videos from A-Dub Fishing before I even knew what Bellows Lake was. When he fished this, and then a local angler, Christopher Joyner, is another local angler, part of the Big Coffee Outdoor Magazine group, and he does a lot of fishing at Belews. So the only idea that I had from that and the way that they fish was dragging a worm, drop shot, and minnows. This is a no forward facing event, so I knew the minnow game was probably going to be rough for me. But for practice, we had forward facing sonar, so we ran with that. Um, that being said, once we got out here, I told Sean to hit this point. I was going to work my way up through here, or yeah, Sean had this whole section. I was going to work my way up through here. Um, Normally, if I'm fishing for spotted bass or in practice, I want to see if there's two things I want to see. Are they active on top water yet? If they are active on top water, what kind of top water gets them, going? And then, um, are they moving to chase bait, or are they stationary waiting for bait? And I was able to answer all three of those in my first forecasts. So to explain, we ran this bank line right here. I threw my popper, pop. What was it? I think it was like one of these little in cuts. It was very, very shallow. And I did two pops, stood up, did two more pops, and I saw two probably like 14 to 16-inch bass following it. They weren't sprinting to it, they were just curious and following it. So I said, okay, there's fish over here. Told Sean, hey, there's fish. We're I mean, it's easy to find fish. So then we keep going. Sure enough, I get up to another tree somewhere around here, and by tree I mean this one is actually in the water, submerged. Did the popper pop pop? This one came shooting out really fast, but then stopped under the popper. We'll have checks out later. Congrats on top 10. No worries, Pete. You be safe, man. Have a great one. And it stopped right under it and just like checked it. I pulled it, like not popping. I just pulled it and it followed it again. I was like, okay, reeled it back real quick, reset. We get up here to this point right here, and then I throw the popper, and this tree is both submerged and it has some outside of the tree. It was somewhere over here. I don't want to say it was this one. It's probably this one because this one looks like it's mixed with submerged and out of the water. And right there, I could actually see the bass weave its way through um, the cover and then move up to my bait and then get under it and nose it. And I pulled it, it followed it slowly, and then I just reeled it back in. So right then I came back and told Sean, hey, there's fish here. They're sitting in wood. The strat right now for practice is seeing what we can do to catch them to get them out of wood. Um, he throws a spinner bait. That's probably one of the better baits to throw for that. A swim jig. He also throws that. Those are two of his favorites. This tournament set up perfectly for that. I don't like to throw either of those. If I have to throw a swim jig, I would like to throw the Megabass Yoz. What's a Yozi? And then if I have to throw a swim jig, I would rather throw the Megabass Yozi, which covers both of those. And I would also like to throw a chatterbait. So out of my wheelhouse for that. If I had to fish for those fish, it would have been a jig. So I told him that I was like, I'm not fishing any of this laydown because it's not my thing. If I had to catch them, and I told him I'll either throw a jig, a shaky head, chatterbait near it, but I won't be throwing a spinnerbait. So as we round the corner, we come out to to another bend. We run around, fish this stuff, same thing, seeing the same stuff. Um, I was wrong. Everything I just said was right here. This is where we were fishing. Yeah, everything I just said was wrong. We were fishing here, and this is the little cove. This is the little shallow cove where I had the two chase it out. Yeah, I was wrong. So yeah, Sean fished down here, and then I started right here. So Sean fished everything there, then I fished everything here, and then somewhere around here is where that fish chased me at. Nonetheless, I told him that wasn't my deal. So once we come around a corner, I see docks. I see docks. I see docks. So I say, hey, you can finish running this side. I'm going to run to docks and see what it looks like. So he starts fishing that. I run straight over to the dock. I get to this dock, throw a jig right here in the front of that dock, right here on the front left, and I pulled in like a 15-incher. Then I moved over to this dock. I threw a jig, and then I caught like a 14-incher. Then I moved over to this dock. I threw like right here on this front left corner because nothing bit over here. And then I caught I didn't catch this one. I shook it off. This is no. I caught this one too. It's here where I threw one here, and then to my left in this cove, Sean and our buddy Jonathan Deere were over here, and Jonathan hooks into something pretty big. It looked like an 18 to 19-incher thing was just jumping out the water. And then I was making a joke like, John, you're not supposed to be catching, like from all the way over here yelling over. I was like, John, you're not supposed to be catching those during practice. While he's doing that, I'm shaking one off on my jig, but I also caught one right here on a shaky head. So already had a pattern for this area, understood what was going to happen. They're sitting in cover. Docks and wood are probably going to be your best bet. Instantly when I made that decision, I told Sean, hey, and off the rip, I was not going to fish this launch. This was not my initial thought process of launch to fish. My initial thing to fish in a wintertime pattern in my head is a hot hole, which would be this side right here, and I think over somewhere over here. One of these areas has a discharge. I don't remember what side it was, but yeah, it might be this one right here. Yeah, that's that one. So the discharge, and that's how I know how to fish Norman when it's cold water. That's how I know how to fish Heiko when it's cold water. So that was the thought process in my head, and sure enough, I told Sean I'm going to be going there. Once I figured out that it was going to be a cover-esque style fishery, I said, hey, I mean, the only other place we could have went that I would have tried are these, but I already knew that docks was going to be it, so I didn't want to kind of ruin it. So the only other place I really had a mindset to fish is Northside, Clearwater, Marina. Norman, this is another thing that you would do. You would go out of Pinnacle and fish the marina and the large rock right there, throwing a jerkbait. That instantly, that was my idea. So that's what I went with. Told Sean that's what's going to happen. We fished, I think, all the way up to this area. No luck. There was a couple of bites, but I was like, yeah, I'm done. Heading home. We're done with practice. So come tournament day, we are now launching over at the marina. So that's where we started. That's where the day begun, and that's what the idea was. Early morning bite, and I'll say it. I said it on stream. I'll say it again. It was low light. I got in the water at 7:03. I sincerely wish I would have gotten the water around 6:50 to like 6:58 because a boater came at 7:02 right here, stopped. I'm launching my boat here. He's coming here. All I see is fish just going crazy. He stopped here. By the time 7:06, 7:07 came, he already had 3 to 4 fish in the boat. I told him I must try to, stealthily get out. You know what? I don't even got it. I'll just show y'all. I'll just show y'all. I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this. Let me just bring this over. We're just gonna watch it. This was the other YouTube video we just worked on. If you guys watched it, I appreciate it too. Kill all of these real quick. It'll allow me to highlight these things to kill them, but it won't. Gotta keep zooming in on them. All right. So load it up, load it in. Get in here. You can hear them coming. Whatever boat launch they got.
Let's see what we got. Why is that? Boat traffic?
Go.
Boat ramp, yep.
Here he comes. Bam. Right there. That's our guy. Right? Yeah, I think they already caught one. That's why he's fiddling right now. He just hooks in to one. They're catching another one.
I'll try to be as stealthy as.
Oh no, that's me trying to get in, so they're good. I think when I get out to their side, to their front, they're catching them. Yep, they just caught another one. So since I just got in the water, they've already caught 3 to 4 fish. Okay, so yeah, just to give you guys a rundown, it was hot, and I sincerely wish I got in the water early. I will not let that happen again on a spotted bass um, lake. After the tournament, I also found out that a local club that normally fishes Belews Lake launches out of the marina and releases their fish at the marina. These are all retreads. Retreads near bait go crazy. So, that being known, I now have, inside knowledge on the lake. That being said, I missed an opportunity there. I did not catch a fish at all in that area. I think they held that area for at least an hour. I stayed there for about 30 to 45 minutes. Our next spot, which was straight across from here, was this stretch here. Like I said, I didn't practice anything here. I just know I wanted to fish marinas or hardcover docks and laydowns. So getting into that, I ran over here. Oh, forgot tournament day. Water clarity is still crystal clear. I had about six to seven. We'll say 6 to 7 foot of visibility. Um, uh, Weather that day, like I said, I think it was high 40s in the morning. Then it warmed all the way up until about high 60s. Shoot, 14 to 20 mile per hour winds midday. Really, really, really rough winds. And I think I got everything. Oh, clear bird skies. Um, Post frontal clear bird skies. So coming back to the story or to the strap, we wanted to run lay down. So I ran this stretch of lay downs, and we got our first fish on a chatterbait somewhere around here. And the idea was if I see a lay down that's more than like 8 feet out of water, that's what I want to cast to. This whole stretch was about 10 foot, and the laydowns I could see them. They were way off the bank. They were pretty much just it was just trees in the water. So I think on my first catch, I threw it over a tree branch and caught one. Let me go see. Let me get the time frame for that because I actually got timestamps. Chatterbait at 1 hour and 2 minutes. So as you can see, I am wholeheartedly smacking up some trees, and then I crawl over a branch, and that's when I get hit. I don't know if it's yeah, it's on this cast, and this was a good one. I think it was like a 16 and some change, which was really good for us. Very very good, very very good catch for the time. Get stuck in the branch, but we're able to keep pressure on him and work him out. I don't know. It's really hard to lose a well hooked fish on a chatterbait, but it can happen, especially if they're like snagged. It's really hard to get them to shake that hook. So nonetheless, fights like the Alabama bass it is, and eventually we get them in. Yep, cool. So that idea keeps us in the thought process that the strategy is going to work. We're going to keep running the um, the same pattern, and by the time I get here on that corner, the boat that was fishing out here runs into the cove. I can't make it up. I don't know them personally. I don't know what the deal was, but they were already in the cove. So we come around the cove. They're fishing back here. I'm fishing. I decide that I'm not going to fish this because they probably already did. And I'm going to come over here. They were sitting back in the cove pointing towards the back. So my assumption was correct because I didn't see them. So I assumed that they were still moving that way. So me cutting across, I ran the bank line, chatterbait, shaky head jig, big swim bait, um, and drop shot. I got no bites. They then stopped somewhere over here in this area, which I can see why. It shallows out to a point, but somewhere in here they were bed fishing, and that clued me in that it's a bed fishing situation now too. There's something I could look at, which in my head, I think I even said on stream, I was like, oh, they're bed fishing. I'm not even going to try to try to work that strat. It was not something that I planned for, practiced for, or wanted to look for, and I wasn't going into any more coves. So I went back here and tried to fish stuff, and sure enough, I threw my jig on like 6 or 5 feet, and I got bit. Let the fish swim towards me. Set the hook, missed it. Jake comes back, smacks the rod, breaks it. Tip exploded, falls down. So we broke our hex rod. I'll probably go take it to an expert, see if they can repair it. If not, then call it trash. We move on from there. We come back out to the main lake. Oh, also my motor breaks at some point of crossing over from this section over here to over here. My motor breaks and I can't turn it anymore, so it has to go straight. All right, so the morning's still going, no bites, no action. So I turn around and start working my way back. Run into Justin Faircloth. I think he was coming out of this cove, and we were just talking. He had two. He wasn't having a good day. They were small. We're about hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and he was just saying that the place sucks. Also talked about a hawk who caught a squirrel and drowned it. That was actually a pretty cool story. Hopefully, he has it on video eventually. He'll send it out. So we then turn around. I think we start working our way back from that after we catch that fish. Because I think our next catch is somewhere. Yeah, we don't catch a fish for another 2 hours. So our next fish comes at 2 hours at 3:08, which I'm thinking is the shaky head bite. No, it's a jerkbait. Wow. So I went jerkbait, then shaky head, huh? So in this situation, and I'll show you on map where we were before I even go over it, I then went all the way back to this point here. These are the 2 points that were productive. So I did go all the way back to launch. I fished here. I fished down here. Nothing. I did not fish this area because it was shallow with not a lot of cover. I did try to fish the point, and there was nothing. I came over and fished these docks with shaky head and drop shot. Got nothing. And then I came to the point, and I had a crankbait tied on, and I took the crankbait off for the jerkbait, and we went to like a stare down. I forgot what it is. Where it's like blue back, clear body, chartreuse chest with like little white lines in it. Mega Bass does it, and then I was using the stare down, which is the Bass Pro Shop clone version, but same pattern, and that was a +1, so it dives into about 7 to 9, 10 foot. So get to that one. I think this is me making that decision to change it. And as I change it, I think it was on my first cast I caught that fish. So I don't want to brag that I made the right choice, but I made the right choice. Right there, when I checked my line or checked my rod, I think I gave it a crazy pause for that fish to, yeah, I'm gonna go kill it. So yeah, y'all will see this thing only has like 2 hooks in its mouth when it gets here. Yeah, right there. That thing was barely holding on. So we got that one. So we realized I realized I should think like I'm fishing Norman, and when the wind is nice, then I should be on points and throwing. So that being said, I think I went through and started fishing some docks after that because I think my next bite is still in that hour. Yeah, 20 minutes later. Oh, this is on the next point. Yeah, so 20 minutes later, I finally run around to the point over here and I catch another one. So that was 3:28. And this was a cool scenario because somebody in stream, and I posted it on YouTube. It's actually on the YouTube video. Yo, Yafeth, welcome back, brother. Nothing much, man. Nothing much. So a YouTube, I'm sorry, a one of the guys in the Twitch chat was asking about how do you read a how do you read a fish finder? And I told him, for to see fish, I was like, well, I'll show you something that I got. And I showed him how I was fishing the area based off the fish I was fishing and the wind. As you guys can see, it's coming straight to the front of the boat. And this is what I would do. And sure enough, 3 casts after that statement, I hook into this one, which coincidentally is the biggest fish in my bag, the 18-incher that also got me big fish hour, I think 4. So it was really good. So this is the 18-inch spot or Alabama bass. There you go. She was not coming off. Extremely healthy. Really, really healthy fish. So that gave us a good sign that I'm kind of like fishing. Like it's like fishing Lake Norman. So from there, I just ran docks, and docks. I think I catch 2 more fish, and I keep running docks. I think I catch my 5th fish somewhere around here, running docks. Yo, what's up, Junkie? Just watching old streams? No. Um, No, right now I am doing what I call post Dangl clarity. So after a tournament or an event I attend, I like to do like it's almost like a journal. I'm doing like a video journal for myself and for future people that want to look at the stuff of what happened on our last tournament. So last Saturday we had our tournament at Belews Lake and we placed 7th. So this is me just going over the play by play of what I did, my mindset, the temperature, the weather, what I saw in the water. So if I have to come back and look at, what went right, what went wrong, yeah, pretty much just a post tournament, a post mortem tournament debrief. So right now we're 4 fish in, sitting somewhere in like the teens. I think 18 at this point with 4 fish, knowing I need 1 more to be somewhere respectable in the group. I then catch my 5th fish somewhere around here. That was on another good observation. I was throwing my shaky head and my jig, but I kept pulling up grass. And I don't know if you guys have ever fished around. Well, most fish don't like grass on what they're eating unless you're in Florida. And that alerted me to switch to the drop shot. As soon as I switched to the drop shot, and this was interchangeable with the shaky head, if there wasn't grass on the bottom or any kind of like algae or like this the snot grass, they would pick it up and eat it with no discrimination. But if there was grass, they would only eat the drop shot, and that was gives me the info I need to take Alex down one day when I finally get back in the word. Listen, it's not that easy to beat me in a tournament. I can tell you that right now. I am not a Brian Tasulkis. I'm not a Will Lambert. I don't feel that I'm a threat to anybody that I fish against in the space of North Carolina. I do feel that I can fish. I can fish well, and it would take a lot of things to happen for me to fish and win. And most of the time when I win, it took a lot of things for other people to mess up, which is normal in fishing, for me to win. And I'll just say that it's fishing. So we get our 5th fish. I think after that we move from 18 somewhere into the top 10. Like I want to say like 5th, um, 5th or 6th, and we were like at like I don't know 80 inches. So that being said, we then kept moving, following docks. I thought this dock was going to be hot, like this was going to be it because we had the wind still blowing in, and the and I mean everything was like looking like this should have been the spot. I didn't get any fish here, but I think I caught 2 fish here. Like I think I caught another one somewhere around here. Nonetheless, wind kicks up crazy, waves start coming out. I then go around the corner thinking, yeah, maybe the wind won't be too bad over here, not understanding that the wind is still going through here, but after it hits this area, it kind of curled. Like, so I'm guessing the wind came through going this way, but then kind of curled, and this whole area was just getting washed. And I was like, oh, this ain't gonna work. So I U-turn and come back over here. I then run into, come back over here. I run into Robert and his wife. They were fishing. I ran this whole bank line only with a chatterbait, and then came all the way back to the ramp while the wind was blowing just to try to see if I can catch anything. Nothing there. And then I decide, hey, wind's going crazy. I'm going to live. I am going to live in the marina because that was what the idea, what the plan was, and what we were supposed to do. So, um, cool little fishing tip if you guys, because I normally don't look at the standings and what fish are being caught. I normally like to place mine, see where I'm at. I mistakenly clicked, I think, the person in fourth place, and I saw that they were in a papaya colored Hobie with a purple board, exactly like mine. Did not did not absorb it, saying, I'm looking for this person, I'm whatever. But I kid you not, as soon as I get to the marina, mind you, this person is in the top 10 at this point because I had to put it in, and I saw that I was in fifth. This person in the marina comes out in a papaya colored Hobie, and in the front is their purple board. I said, "Oh, you were doing pretty good back here." He's like, "Yeah, they've been sitting in here." I said, "That's dope. Well, do you mind?" And I asked, "Do you mind if I fish it?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm all fished. I fished it out. I'm going to go to the other marina." I said, "Perfect, boys and girls." I fucking killed him in there. I whooped every slip I was getting bit, boy. It was getting to the point where I wonder where I wasn't going to get bit. I was whooping them motherfucking fish all in this goddamn cove. Dude, I came over here, my first cast right here. These two marinas, these things haven't moved in Google probably in like 8 years. These two right here with the wind blowing, I got two bites. One of them, I got in the boat. The second one, I thought was a smallmouth, and I was too flabbergasted. It's on stream. It got in the boat, broke me off, spit my drop shot out, jumped over my leg once, went under my leg the second time, went to the gunnel of my boat, and jumped back in the water. And you know what? I wasn't even sweating it. That's how confident I was in this marina with what I practiced. So I'm gonna go through all the details of me in this marina, but I got two upgrades that I culled that brought me up to like what was it, 82.75? Yeah. So I was probably at 80, but this 15 and a half got an upgrade, and I think this 16 was an upgrade. No, so the 15 and a half definitely was an upgrade at 105. So yeah, that's the only upgrade I got in there was a 15.5. But I was catching them all in that marina. So the thing that I figured out, and I tried to explain it to the others, was so going back to practice when they were sitting in the trees, the reaction baits that I was throwing would lure them out, but they wouldn't bite. So what I then thought was, if they're going to be sitting on cover, you're going to have to entice them to want to come out of cover to eat, which then thus means if you're doing finesse fishing, you don't do anything. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought it was a small. It was a super super brown um Alabama bass. Like it was, you could barely see its blotches on its sides, but it was so brown. I mean, all the fish I was catching were green. That fish was so brown. I was like, "Oh, what is this? A small?" And I boat flipped him. I should have put him in the net, but I boat flipped him. Nonetheless, it happened. I mean, we could probably go find the part of the video, right? So it said at 108. I'll see if I can find it. So 108 on here. I turned this on from start to finish 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That would be hour 7? Oh, no, 6. All right, we're here. Somewhere around here. So the strategy was don't move that thing when it hits the water and just jiggle it. Keep the line tight and just jiggle it. So that's what I was doing for most of that time over here. I think this is where I lose him at. It had to be right here on the backside. The heck is it? Okay, so that's where I caught one. I don't know where I lost it at. Was it the next one, maybe? We'll try to get to it. I do apologize because I don't remember when it happened. I Okay, so this is when I had to sacrifice some line from it. So that means that it happened prior to that. Man, I can't remember. I apologize, everybody. I wish I would have had this one organized better because after a certain time, I was like, yeah, I'm getting off of getting my timestamps. I was going to get my timestamps tomorrow.
Did I fish something? I've been fishing all the native hammer 12 pin. Spear 20? Nah, definitely wasn't.
That's when I break it again.
That's where we're at. Cannibalizing.
Okay, this is me cannibalizing it. But when did he break me off? So he had to break me off before I started because he was like the first break off on my drop shot. I don't know. It was somewhere up here. Pretty much my drop shot was getting manhandled in this place. I'll find it and make a YouTube short out of it. But that dude was awesome. Dang it, Bobby. Okay, yeah, I think that's when he broke me. Okay, so somewhere before this. Damn, he beat me up. Got your boy sitting out there. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's me talking about him. Oh shit! What is this at? 5:51. Let me do this. Let me do this for my own good. Hold on. Let me pause that. Hold on. Pause. 5:51. Right. 5:51:46. All right. Oh, this is hilarious. That's me saying, "Oh, I thought it's small." He breaks me off over the leg, under the leg. He going.
You can't make it up.
He's just straight going. Oh, see if I can get that image. Nah, it's gonna be too blurry. Oh wait, no, I can change this, can I? Can't. I forgot where it was. Can't change the clarity. I have to go back and look at what setting it was to see. Okay, so right there, it's not green. It doesn't have the blotches, and it's to me it was brown. It was just clean brown, and it didn't have blotches on it like a normal Alabama bass. So I thought it was a smallmouth. Breaks me off over under straight over the gunnel. That shit's fire. That son of a bitch. All right. Nonetheless, we did work out the rest of this marina, and then we learn I catch like about four more. They weren't bigger than what I had, but we found out that the wind stops. Once the wind stopped, the ones that were sitting inside of cover, like deep into cover, moved. So if they were biting like right here, or like for instance, like the two that were right here, they would then move out to right here when the wind stopped. So in the slips, they would move out to like right here in the front, where I would normally have my boat, and then here where the wind was having the wind seam, they would come out into this area, but just stay out there. And the only way I found this out, which was awesome, the only way I found this out, I was talking to a lady, and her dog was running back and forth, and I started drifting because there was a light wind, and I was sitting in the slip. I started drifting away. I already had my cast on the front of a post. I was drifting away to like right out here while I was talking to her, and I got bit out here. I saw where my line was, and I got bit out here, and I said, "Hmm." So the next slip, which was right here, I did the exact same thing because she was when I was talking to her, she was walking from here, and then I think this is her boat. I don't know if she lives there or what, but she had her car parked here, and she sat here with her dog running up and down the the launch. So on this slip right here, I threw it here, but I didn't get bit off the rip, and then I dragged it and dropped it like somewhere out here, and I got bit. And I said, "Oh, okay." Set the hook, didn't get it. Did the same thing in front of her boat. Set the hook, didn't get it. Then I came over here. Oh no, right here. I was at her boat right here. I did the same thing, didn't get bit. Finished our conversation, went over here, did the same thing, caught another one. Went over here, caught another one. Um, and then from there, I was like, okay, kept fishing. It was late, and I didn't find any more that was going to get me anything better. Headed back. The last 40 minutes, we head back all the way over here. Just throw a jerk bait and a shaky head and a drop shot to our heart's content. Didn't catch anything, and then we go back. Ended up in seventh place, somewhere right here. So yeah, so you can see my last scorable was 105. That was before that fish broke off and jumped back in the water. I think the fish that broke off and jumped in the water, if I had to guess, was a 16 and a half to 17, which would have did me pretty well. Would have moved me maybe one spot. Um, but oh no, it would have moved me. Yeah, it would have moved me a couple of spots. Shoot, dang, that fish was actually important. Yeah, that fish was actually important. I should have. It would have put me in fifth. Damn. Eh, it happens. That's fishing. If it was that length, it looked like it was going to be that length. But where did the other purple board end up? Oh yeah, let's go look. Right here. You can't make it up, dog. Purple, papaya, Hobie, and purple board. And then here, this is me coming back. Oh, I went too far. Where's he at?
Oh no!
There he is, right there. He's leaving there. There you go. Later, Pat. You have a great one, man. Congrats on the 3 stream streak. So yeah, papaya, Hobie, purple board. Yep, yep. That's just a small detail. Super small detail. Didn't lock it in my head until I saw his boat. So yeah, this area was definitely holding not the biggest fish. I just saw his name in the top 5 at that time. So he was holding 74 for a bit in this area. Looks like morning, afternoon around, yeah, so pretty much everything before 1 o'clock he was catching in there, and it was fairly small. Damn, I definitely missed two good ones then. Shoot. Okay. Nonetheless, that's fishing. It is what it is. I gotta accept that one. But yeah, that was our score. We ended up in seventh. And we got an hourly big bass, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where to see that at. Main event. Okay. And we got an hourly big bass for that one. We caught on a jerkbait right here at hour 4. So that pretty much rounded out the tournament. Things I can take away from that one. I didn't win practice, but I learned so much valuable information in practice. They were definitely not in the mood to chase like a normal Alabama bass. Alabama bass are so aggressive. They will eat anything near them. They will chase everything around them. They will eat. Last Saturday or the Saturday before last, they did not do that. I already knew that it was going to be a slow grind. Also, another tidbit that helped on that was let me go back into Facebook. Tag angler Brian or Brandon Bain posted last week. Where's it at? If I can find him. Can't. He was on the other one. I don't know where he posted it at. Trying to find it. There it is. So the same weekend we went out to practice, uh, when I launched here, the person that launched next to me was Brandon. So we fished all the same area during practice. Brandon caught 90 inches of fish, mostly all largemouth. So that was a huge giveaway. That and I watched him when I was throwing the popper. When I said I was throwing the popper, and I saw the fish like swerve out as I'm working on that, over to my right, I hear a big splash, and I see him like trying to keep the fish from doing what fish do and trying to get a quick measurement. I saw him like lean over, do that, look around, and then I saw him reach back. Normally, normally I understand the privacy of it, but I heard the fish splash. I understand what you're doing. You probably caught a good one. This also concluded that he was catching really good fish during practice. So that being said, I understood that the way that I saw him fishing, which was Texas rig, slow, dragging something. I understood. I understood. Oh yeah, that last hour of the classic was ridiculous. Um, Dylan already had it in the bag, but everybody else trying to catch up to him worked. Trey is going to be probably the next Van Dam the way he fishes. I can definitely see him being the next Kevin Van Dam for this new generation. Hopefully he can stay personable and do great things. But yeah, so that is the Bellows Lake post Dangl clarity. Practice went great. Fishing and execution went good. I do wish I would have caught the fish that broke me off. There's two fish that broke me off. I wish I would have caught both of those. And then there was a lot of late mistakes I was making in the slips, but that comes with boat. That comes with dock in slip fishing. That you're going to have a lot of unforeseen tangles and issues out there. So I can't really hurt myself too much. But the shaky head bite and then the one I showed you with the fish breaking off and jumping out the boat, I think those are two avoidable situations that I had more control of if I would have played it right. Um, the one that came off of the shaky head, I knew I tied a bad knot and I should have cut the knot and retied it. Because as soon as the fish bit it on the shaky head and I set the hook, it broke. It literally slipped right off the knot. It wasn't a good knot. And then, like you saw, the one that I lifted with the drop shot, I should have netted it. Nonetheless, 2 mistakes probably would have put me from 7th to maybe 4th, 7th to maybe 5th, 7th to maybe something. But that maybe is so far so gone. So next tournament for CKA is actually Jordan Lake. I will not be participating. I'll be doing the Brian Latimer Straight Up Fishing Championship on Hartwell. That place looked like it was doing really well. I got to do some recaps of what the Queen City guys did this past weekend there. And then I actually have to do some more map study and then get a better understanding of what happened on Saturday for those gentlemen, because our next tournament will be April 19th weekend. So from the 16th to the 19th, I'll be in South Carolina fishing. So I have to figure out what's happening on that side of South Carolina and get ready for that. And then after that, we'll be traveling to Indiana, and I have to go figure out. So early April, we're probably going to have to go and talk to probably OEF, Gramps, and everybody that's in Indiana and see if we can get a spot near them. If not, we're going to be camping for Kayak Adventure Series. Nonetheless, I'll keep y'all posted. I'll probably be asking for help on that travel. Why is that on? Yafeth, you have a great night, man. Thank you once again for coming in. No, we won't be coming up to Michigan. Why is this on? I think it just turned on by itself because it hasn't been doing this the whole time. Nonetheless, I apologize. Distractions. That is going to be the goals going forward. But on that note, I think I ran over time. So you guys have a great night, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I greatly appreciate you all stopping by, chatting with me, talking fishing, and listening to me rant about my last fishing excursion. Greatly appreciate support. Starlink has been going great. I can't say anything bad about it. Starlink has been doing the damn thing. The stream quality, if from what everybody's saying, looks good. I've looked at it and it looks really good. So I'm definitely happy that we have a solution to help us on the water for streaming. We also got a Bella box, but I'm going to need some more money for an action camera. So we're going to save up for probably an Osmo 4 and try to get that working, and then figure out a good streaming setup strictly from just running it out of the Bella box and the box behind me on Starlink. But until then, we get that situated. I'll keep y'all updated. But y'all have a great night, morning, afternoon, evening. I'll talk to y'all. I'll probably get out sometime this week, but we'll see. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great day, night, afternoon, evening. Later. We out! Joseph made it.